am I? What's happening? I'm trapped in a storm? How did I get here? And where is here? Wait, there's the lighthouse. I'll be safe if I can make it there. I hope. Please let me make it there.
I remember reading that Life is Strange is a teenage experience, but I never thought it would ring so true, because I remember my teenage years, waking up in the middle of the forest, unconscious, after a long night of drinking. It's just something that happens to every one of us, you know, it's completely normal. Though I think that if your symptoms last for more than 48 hours, you should probably see a doctor, Max. Okay, all kidding aside, I think this is a pretty dope intro. We're gonna talk about it later. This is just an introduction to the game mechanics. It teaches us how to walk. It teaches us that, you know, things are gonna happen. There are gonna be tornadoes hurling towards us, and the lighthouse is our safe haven of sorts. So it sets up some symbolism, which I deeply appreciate. You might say, what are we going to do about the tornado? And we're gonna do the same thing we do to every tornado. We're gonna wake up from it. That might not make a lot of sense, but it will in about 3 seconds.
That was so surreal.
Famously called film Little Pieces of Time. But he could be talking about photography, as he likely was.
Okay, I'm in class. Everything's cool. I'm okay.
From light to shadow. From color to chiaroscuro. Now, can you give me an example of a photographer who perfectly captured the human condition in black and
I didn't
white?
fall asleep, and that sure didn't feel like a dream.
Bueller?
Weird.
Diane Arbus.
There you
We
go,
already
Victoria.
spotted the bitch. Let's play the game. Spot the bitch. That wasn't very hard, was it? Trust me, she'll be important. We'll learn her name soon enough. But let's just say that she's our arch nemesis. She's still a person, so don't hate too much. But just remember what's going on.
Keep that to
I
yourself.
love how this scene is set up because
I could frame
it
any
so
one of
teaches
your
you
dark
not to
thoughts
listen to him, which just
capture
reminds me
one
of
moment
high
of
school so
desperation.
much. I remember seeing
any
the
one of
person
you could
talking,
do
but
that
I
to
just
me.
never really registered what they were saying, or maybe
that
not
too easy?
every time, but a lot of time.
obvious?
And the game is obviously trying to
What if
tell us
Arbus chose
that we
to
should
capture people with the
press
height
buttons.
of
So
their beauty or
let's press some buttons.
She had a brilliant eye.
Look at this crap. How can I show this to
Alright,
Mr.
so
Jefferson?
apparently we're a photography student. We
can
want to
feel the
show our
class laughing at me
photograph to our teacher there.
She could have taken
That's
another
great.
approach.
I think that's a pretty dope
Look at this
photo
crap.
or the Polaroid.
How
I
can
mean,
I show this to
it's
Mr.
not
Jefferson?
revolutionary or life-changing,
hear
but
the
she's
class
still a
laughing
student,
at
right?
me
I think it's a neat idea at
To
least.
admit,
So,
I'm not a
you know,
big
pat
fan
yourself
of
on the
her
back, Max.
I prefer
Robert Frank. Who the hell is Robert Frank? I don't really care, do
I
I?
haven't kept up with my journal.
Journal?
As much as I
Sure.
should. If anybody else
The journal
looked
is
at this,
actually a really
what
big
would they
part of the
think?
game or the story because essentially everything that happens to Max, she's gonna record it here. There are some things to read here, I'll go through it, so if you want to pause and actually read it, you can do that. But I'm not gonna indulge too much into it, mostly because I've read it about 5 times already. Because I'm going to be setting up some of the story as we go along. So I'm just going to scroll through it and you can pause and read it if you want. I think that should be good. But I mean, even better would be if you would actually play the game for yourself. But if you can't do that and you're just watching this video, then I suggest reading it. Here are some portfolios on what these characters are. There's some descriptions. Again, similar thing. I can just go through them slowly, and if you want to pause, you can read them, but that shouldn't be that big of a deal. What we will be reading is our texts, because we're in class, right? So I think it makes sense for us to read our text, and I think this is going to set up some of the characters that are going to be reoccurring in the game. Don't worry, I'm going to talk about the game and just about this video and this series in general, but this is the introduction. I'm just trying to set up the story. So hello, Dad, what do you have to say? Nice beard, by the way. Have a very special 18th birthday. You're an adult now, but you're still our little girl. That's false. At 18 years old, you're not an adult. It's just what people say to make you feel guilty and feel like you should have some responsibility, but it's actually not true. At the 18th birthday, you're pretty much the same as you were when you were 16. I think you become an adult at like 25. That's my guesstimate. At 18, definitely not. Check your account, don't blow it all at once. Thanks for the donation, Dad. I really appreciate it. So, Kate, if you weren't paying attention, that's the girl which actually got hit by the little paper, a ball of paper that a classmate threw at her. Obviously very mean, so let's see what she had to say. Hey Max, you're around, and we said always, are you okay? Did you want to get tea later today? Absolutely, I'll be free after 4. Talk to you later. This is how teenagers talk. I think that's a pretty good indication of the kinds of texts I would receive from my friends, although nobody really wants to get you with me, so hey, it's fine. Happy birthday, Maxine. We can't believe it's been 18 whole years since you were brought to us. Mom, actually, I hate to break it to you, but I wasn't brought to you. You brought me to the world. I know this might sound very surprising, but I did actually come from your uterus. Warren, I know he's our classmate. So let's see what he has to say. Do you want to meet for coffee after school? I need an excuse to not study. Please make sure you check out Necromantic on my flash drive. Mwahaha, so he's a nerd. And he seems to text a lot even though we're not really returning the favor. Hey Mad Max, let's buzz shit up. Wait, I have to study for a physics test. So if we bust anything, we also have to measure its velocity. Don't ignore this message. Sorry, Warren, I can't. I was never good at following rules.
And there was honesty about the economic
The
conditions
pencil
of the
case.
era.
I always did that. I checked my pencil case about 20 times every single lecture, so I can relate to this.
But I like it old school.
One great thing about this particular scene, right? They're still talking. Doesn't really matter what they're talking about. It's just things are happening. It's fine.
I should take a quick picture now.
See, this is the exact behavior or the thinking of a teenage girl, which I just will never be able to understand. Because while I was still a daredevil in school, I was never so silly to take a selfie with a Polaroid. That just seems ridiculous to me, but let's do it.
And his famous
Because
self-portraits
we have
are famous. Early examples of that truly awful word you pesky kids love so much. Shh. I believe Max has taken what you kids call a selfie. A dumb word for a wonderful photograph.
So he's a hipster. We've established that.
Has a gift. Of course, as you all know, the photo portrait has been popular since the early 1800s. Your generation was not the first to use images for
What?
selfie
But we're
expression.
millennials. We're supposed to be special and feel special.
I couldn't resist.
How can you
The
say
point
that,
remains
Mr.
that the
Jefferson?
portraiture has
That
always
invalidates my
revitalized
feelings,
art
and that's not okay in
photography
this day and
first,
age.
long as it's been around. Now, Max, since you've captured our interest and clearly want to join the conversation, can you please tell us the name of the process that gave birth to the first self-portrait?
Easy, the Garian process. I know this because I've played the game 5 times, but at this point, we don't know. So, you're asking me, I did know. Are we gonna be sassy, or are we gonna be apologetic? I think we're gonna be sassy. Let's play a sassy Max. I think a sassy Max is the best Max. X, right?
You're asking me? Let me think.
That wasn't very sassy, Max. You can do better.
This or not, Max? Is there anybody here who knows their stuff?
Louis Daguerre was a French painter who created daguerreotypes, a process that gave portraits a sharp reflective style like a mirror. Now you're totally stuck in the retro zone. Sad face.
Nobody talks like this, Victoria.
Very
Get
good, Victoria.
the room.
The Daguerrean process brought out fine.
The Garian, that's what I said.
Making them extremely popular
Back,
from the
look
1800s
what do we have in the
onward.
My
back.
little camera bag is battered, but still kicking.
I can appreciate that.
Cornelius.
Maybe we should start listening now because
find out all
we've been
about
called
it
out.
In your textbook.
The
Or
textbook
even
holds information
online.
online. Nice. The doorbell.
And
This
guys,
means
don't
it's
forget
over.
the deadline to submit a photo in the Everyday Heroes contest. I'll fly out with the winner to San Francisco, where you'll be feted by the art world. It's great exposure, and it can kickstart
I'm not sure
a career
how
in
far
photography
San
for
Francisco
Stella
is
and
from the
Alyssa
location they're in, so it
together.
might be very
Taylor,
exotic or
don't
not at
hide.
all.
I'm still waiting for your entry too. And yes, Max, I see you pretending not to see me.
Okay, Jefferson. So, right, I want to make one thing clear. I know a lot of criticism in media in general is that the teachers apparently never know when the end of class will be, and the bell
doesn't
always
waste a
surprises
second
them.
kissing
As a
ass.
teacher, as someone who has been a teacher for a pretty long time, I can confirm that actually does happen. Sometimes you just lose the track of time, and the thing rings, and you're just like, okay, I suppose it's over now. Dismissed, and everybody just leaves, even though you're like, can I just finish my sentence? And everybody's like, no, we don't care, and they just leave, even though obviously as a teacher you're trying to convey important information for them, but you know, it's teenagers, it's
That was
people,
amazing when Mr. Jefferson
they don't
took the
enjoy it,
class
it's
picture
fine.
the first
We've all
week.
been like this, we've all
Even
gone
though
through
I
that
didn't want
phase.
to be in the picture at all, it was fairly fucking cool to watch him at work framing us.
So the Jefferson apparently took a picture of them, and apparently this is an amazing picture, even though it doesn't really seem to me. Sure, the depth of field is nice because the background is blurry, but they are in the focus. He kind of arranged them so that they fit color-wise in some extent. It's cool, but again, it's not revolutionary. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. So much like if you watch my playthrough of Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit, this is very much gonna be a snarky playthrough as well. We're gonna go through the game, we're gonna talk to people, we're gonna click on pictures, we're gonna look at them, we're gonna basically point out every inconsistencies, and at some points we're also gonna have some heartfelt conversation about the game, because this is the type of game that tends to be very emotional in some sense. So, with all of that said, let's just see this photo printer.
I'd love to see how it reproduces my pictures.
I
could pump out a whole gallery show with that thing.
I never heard anyone say this
suck.
printer is amazing, although I did have one experience with a printer in my school. It was basically this very expensive printer for like 20,000 euros or something like that. Obviously something very heavy duty that was used by the administration. I want that printer at my home. Honestly, it was the best experience of my life, just to use it and just to print stuff. Totally unrelated, but it did bring me back.
I love seeing Mr. Jefferson's awesome photos on these magazine covers.
I admit, this is a little bit of a better picture, although I'm not sure why it's in such a low resolution. It's honest. I like the style of this game, I really do. Like how it goes from this cel-shaded, very artsy, kind of blurry, not blurry, it is kind of blurry, right, in some sense, or at least it makes me feel blurry. Everything feels a bit like a dream, I suppose, when I'm playing this game. I dig it,
Damn,
I dig it.
They have carbon fiber tripods here. The ball head even has a pan lock. God, I'm such a photo nerd.
Yes.
So cool to see Mr. Jefferson's actual published pictures. Gives me hope.
That's nice. I think this really sets up Max as a
This
really
is
empathetic
definitely
character
where
in some
cameras go to
sense. We
heaven.
can all relate to having a
man,
passion
they
about
have those
something,
sweet
especially when you come to
ultrasonic
your
lenses.
high school for the
Look
first
at that
time,
vintage
and just
rangefinder.
everything seems new and everything seems super exciting about life, and you're just learning about things, you're just seeing all this expensive equipment. So if you're a photographer, you can obviously expect not to have a lot of the things at home, but when you enter a school establishment, which is where you're meant to take picture, and they all have all this cool equipment all around, it takes you back, right? I mean, it takes me back. I don't know if it takes you back, but it takes me back, because I had the
Obviously,
same
Blackwell
experience
spent bank
when
on
I started
computers
visiting
here.
my computer school, and there were just a bunch of things everywhere, and I just wasn't used to them. It was really cool.
Looks like somebody was already working on this. Cool.
Honestly, that's just one slider. As someone who uses Photoshop or similar programs, going from the left to the right picture is literally one slider. So whoever was doing it obviously wasn't listening to Jefferson as well. Let's talk to Kate. She was the sad girl who somebody threw a paper ball at. What can I reply to on the paper ball?
Now I wish I wouldn't have read this. Purge.
Well, there, Kate, we love your porn video. That's not encouraging, is it? So obviously she's being bullied. Let's talk to her.
Hi, Kate.
Oh. Hi, Max.
I hope it didn't embarrass you. You seem quiet today. What would we do to embarrass her? Let's just say you seem quiet today. Although that might seem accusatory. She's obviously in a bad state of mind, so maybe we don't want to accuse her of things. So let's just apologize. Maybe that's going to be more appreciated by her.
Kate, I hope I didn't embarrass you with my lame answer.
It sucks to be dragged into the spotlight.
Unless you're Victoria.
She's got nothing on you, Max. Well, I should get going.
Yeah, me too. Talk to you later.
But she invited you for
Sure.
tea. You should say, let's go get tea. Wait, I want to talk to her more.
Let's talk later, Max.
She's depressed, Max. Don't let her go. You agreed to take some tea after class at 4. What time is it? I'm actually not sure what the time is. Where's the clock? Where's the frigging clock? I saw it, but I'm wondering if there's a better one or maybe a more opportune one. We'll check it later. I know that we can take a picture of this. Essentially, what happens in this game, there are these mementos that you can take pictures of, and I think it's a really cool idea because when you go look back at it, it just reminds you of what you've been through. Now, achievements will be popping up. I don't mind achievements, but I think in a game like this, they do take you out a little bit. The second hand actually moves. That's ridiculous. It's 4 p.m. We agreed to tea on 4 p.m. It says right here. Wait a second. I'll find the text. I'll be free after 4. Yes, because we have the same class. Talk to you later. Oh, alright, so apparently she's not really having any of this. So if you were wondering why the hell I'm taking so long, pretty much expect the entire playthrough to be like this. I will look at everything. I adore this game. It's probably one of my favorite games
Mr.
in
Jefferson
existence.
really expects
So
me to
I'll be
enter.
taking my sweet time
Why?
at just interacting
I
with
don't know if
everything
I'm
and just
ready for my
basically
15
squeezing
minutes of
every single piece of
infamy.
content that I possibly can. I just absolutely adore this game. I'll say why as we actually progress through and you'll actually see more of the things, but at this point, just know that this will be a relatively slow playthrough. I don't know why I'm talking to the TV. We know what the TV does, right?
Even in pictures,
because I said I would explore everything. That's why I'm looking at the TV. But just in a narrative sense, looking at the TV doesn't make a lot of sense. Now, the lighthouse is very important to some extent. Not to the story,
you can never escape
but
the lighthouse here.
more as a symbolism, right? The lighthouse to Max, and I think just in general in this game, represents something of a safe haven. It's something that's always there in a sense. It represents... You'll see later. I have a word I want to use, but I'm afraid it might be too spoilery, so I'm not going to say it. But it's important in the sense of what it represents, and in some sense it represents safety, it represents home, it represents something that's familiar, right? And whenever you see a lighthouse, that's probably what's going on there. Even in the dream where there was a tornado, so something bad was happening, when she went to the lighthouse, that was her safe spot, and then it broke, which means that things are about to take a turn for the worse, more or less. And you'll see how exactly that's gonna happen in a little bit.
Excuse me, Mr. Jefferson, can I talk to you for a moment?
Yes. Excuse you.
No, Victoria. Excuse us. I'd never let one of photography's future stars avoid handing in her picture.
I didn't have time, or do I have to? We're gonna use the good old excuse, I didn't have any time.
I didn't have
Even
any
though that's a
time.
lie.
Way too much
We're a
time.
teenager. We have
Max,
way too much
You're a
time.
better photographer than a liar. Now, I know it's a drag to hear some old dude lecture you, but life won't wait for you to play catch up. You're young, the world is yours, blah, 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 right? But you do have a gift. You have the fever to take images, to frame the world only the way you envision it. Now, all you need is the courage to share your gift with others. And that's what separates the artist from the amateur.
I love that idea that we all have a gift to envision the world in our own way, even though it's not something that people might understand or even like. In most cases, people won't like the way we envision the world. But in the sense, me making these videos is creating something in the way that I envisioned it, and I think that's important. I don't think we can talk to him anymore, and they're obviously kind of flirting. I mean, she's trying to flirt with him, but he's not having any of it. I like that idea of what he's trying to convey there.
Whoa, Mr. Jefferson is not messing around with that monster.
Yes, he's a professional
He probably
photographer.
paid 20 grand for that camera. I bet he gets pristine digital images.
It does,
But I still dig my little
because
instant
he's a
camera.
professional photographer, so I think it makes sense to make an investment like this, you know?
You didn't tell me how cute I looked yet.
I was about to.
Just getting
You
ready.
always
Welcome to the real world.
Just cute.
hot.
Then I might send you a special picture.
Because Max wants everybody to see how hip she is.
I love this idea as well, going out of the classroom and just seeing all of your schoolmates around.
Splash water on my face and make sure I don't look like a total loser.
This entire sequence of how the game starts is just genius to me. I really feel like it sets up not only the tone, it sets up the major characters which will be recurring throughout the series. It teaches you how to interact with things, it teaches you what you can do in the game, it teaches you that the game is gonna be about cutscenes. There are gonna be some supernatural elements with tornadoes as well. It just feels... It sets up the perfect mood and the atmosphere of just what's going on, and it serves also as a little bit of a tutorial. The headphones and the music playing in the background, it actually gives me the chills. I adore this game. I don't know if I said it, but I do. Let's just look at people.
I think that's Courtney. She's such a slave.
What a great song. I mean, I know maybe it's not great on an objective level, but it's so fitting in this one. Even the lyrics. If you go listen to it, I mean, it's just not. You can't deny it. I'm sorry. It's just you can't deny that this is not a good fit for this moment. It's happy. It's upbeat. It's hopeful. It's exactly how I would imagine Max feeling
His
there.
photos are very cool.
We're just basically scanning people at this point. Skater boy Justin.
That's Dana talking to... I think his name is Justin.
So at this point we obviously don't know every single character. We're very new to the school, which I think shows because she's very enthusiastic about things. When you get into your 3rd or 4th years, usually you get some of that cynicism, you say that high school is bad, but right in the 1st and the 2nd year you're still very much excited, and that's pretty
Dana
cool.
is on my floor too. She's such an archetypal, gorgeous cheerleader.
Yes,
They
if
must
she
make them
wasn't
in a
made of
factory.
pixels, I think she would have the potential to be quite gorgeous.
Dana is nice to me.
Dana is nice to me. Yeah, okay, fine. We'll be nice to Dana too.
Warren. She seems like his type.
Yes, they're both nerdy. Warren is, by the way, the guy that sent this text, which we are ignoring. And I'm totally shipping Brooke and Warren. It's gonna be an option later down the road. We're gonna do it.
I hate bully jockstraps like Logan.
Why can't I stop this?
Auntie's a
I
Vortex
actually
Club
want to
member.
intervene. I don't know what I'll be able to do, but
Poor Daniel. He's so nice. I wish I could beat the shit out of Logan.
one common complaint about this game is that the dialogue is cringy and unnatural, I suppose. And I get that, but a lot of the dialogue actually takes place in Max's head, which I feel makes it a little bit more bearable. And some people just talk like this. Maybe you forgot how you talked when you were 15, 16 years old, but this to some extent feels pretty real to me, or at least it feels believable. I know not a lot of people might say that or think that, but it fits well. I think it gives her some personality and character that you don't see in other games, which are, I would say, much more streamlined. This definitely felt a little bit less streamlined when it first came out.
I wish October would last forever.
I agree, October is one of the best months, honestly.
It looks like she's been gone for months.
Missing from Arcadia Bay, her name is Rachel Amber. If you're not aware, there was actually a tattoo on the ground, and she's a very important character. She plays a very big role, even though she's missing for the entirety of the 5 seasons, essentially, which is, I think, another clever design choice they
They
made.
should just call it a sugar machine. That would be awesome if you put money in there and a bag of sugar dropped out.
See, Max, this is the type of thing you shouldn't say out loud, but it's okay to think about, because I had similar thoughts in my life.
There's Hayden, another Vortex.
I relate to
Club
Max
bro.
so much. I know this. I
he's
know
actually
the
not
title
an
is a
ass.
snarkthrough, and so far I've been relatively nice to people. But my general rule is I'm not gonna be mean to Max or people who are nice to Max, but the other ones can actually suck it. We're gonna get to the mean people. Don't worry. There are gonna be plenty of opportunity to snark through the game. Just notice how many missing posters there are. They're really focusing you on it, and it makes sense because Rachel Amber, when she was visiting school, was quite popular, so it makes sense that people would actually like her, right? And put out a lot of posters, which is the sad reality of our life. If somebody likes you, they're gonna put out more posters than if people don't like you. It's just, it's a bit silly, but that's how it works.
Empty. Good. Nobody can see my meltdown. Except for me.
I'm not sure what exactly you're melting down from, but I understand that it's 4 p.m. and you've been awake since 7. It makes sense.
Now, who would bother to write that crap?
Rachel Amber is a bitch. 100% Victoria Chase. No other person would write this. I guarantee you. Like, I'm not even sure if that's the actual canon story, but I'm 100% sure that that's Victoria. So that's the smartass that I defer to as the bitch in the classroom. Just so you know.
I feel like the
she's
universe is
gonna come
taunting
up,
me
so
everywhere
you'll
I
remember
go
her
to.
name
It
eventually.
all started with that bizarro dream in class. Am I going crazy?
Right, I wanted to use it, and apparently you don't want to use this thing. Just wash your face. Apparently you're having a meltdown. Is that something that happens often? I'm not sure, but your meltdown doesn't seem very meltdowny to me. It seems
Just
very
relax.
chill.
Stop torturing yourself. You have a gift.
She's anxious about the photo. That makes sense, right? I used to be anxious about my homework. Never teared it up, though. I would save it. Because it's just future investment. I worked hard on it, so I don't want to throw it away, but I don't want to. I don't want to submit it either. So it's just like it's in this limbo, I
Get a
suppose.
photo up like this every day.
Photo op is photo opportunity, I think. I'm not used to the photo lingo. I'm not even sure if it's photo lingo. If it's just something they made up. Let's take a picture of the butterfly. The butterfly, very symbolic and representative of the things that are about to happen. Butterfly effect, things like that, just, keep it in mind. This is the girls' bathroom, excuse me? Alright, it's the 21st century. He's allowed to do that if he
It's cool,
faces a girl, I suppose.
Don't stress. You're okay, bro.
Yeah, I shouldn't
Count to
judge.
3.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying I shouldn't judge.
You own this school. If I wanted, I could blow it up. You're the boss.
See, these are the things you keep to your head, like Max does.
So what do you want?
I hope you check the perimeter, as my step-ass would say. Now, let's talk business.
I got nothing for you.
Wrong. You got hella cash.
That's my family, not me.
Oh, boo-hoo, poor little rich kid. I know you've been pumping drugs and shit to kids around here. I bet your respectable family would help me out if I went to them. Man, I can see the headlines now.
Leave them out of this bitch.
I can tell everybody Nathan Prescott is a punk ass who begs like a little girl and talks to himself.
Oh, that's why he's on the female bathroom. He's a little
or
girl.
who you're messing around with.
Where'd you get that? What are you doing? Come on, put that thing down!
Don't ever tell me what to do. I'm so sick of people trying to control me.
You are going to get in hella more trouble for this than drugs.
Nobody would ever even miss your punk ass, would they?
Get that gun away from me, psycho! No!
Yikes. That's unexpected for a teenage drama. Maybe that's exactly what's expected. It caught me off guard the first time I played it. It's very shocking and surprising because you're dealing with all of these petty problems of school and homework and such. And suddenly there's just a guy shooting people around there and she just dies in that bathroom.
Shot that poor girl.
And it leaves you in a state of shock, and then
held up my
it
hand.
rewinds to this back point, and you're just like,
And then
what the
I
hell
was
just
back
happened?
here.
I love that feeling.
It was. These pieces of time can frame us in
I already heard this lecture.
from light to shadow.
So have I. 6 times at this point.
Now
Actually,
Kate is being
5
hassled
times 2 times 3, 16 times.
Victoria's
16 or
phone
17
is-
times.
This is real.
Now, can you give me an example of a
Man, I
photographer?
cannot believe this.
Who's gonna take the selfie
condition
now?
in black and white?
Not me. I
Okay,
suppose.
if I'm crazy, I might as well go all the way.
Bueller?
Diane,
Can I actually reverse time?
Go, Victoria.
That's a
Why
plot
Arvis?
twist. Let's go! that's the entire premise of the game. I don't think that's a secret or a spoiler at this point. It's not a spoiler because it's actually what's happening in the game right now, but if I mentioned it before, it wasn't a spoiler. I think that's pretty common knowledge. This entire game is revolved around rewinding time, and it's used as a plot device in some sense. It's used to tell a narrative,
Max,
not as
don't
much
freak
to
out.
have a power,
Not yet.
if that makes sense. We're gonna talk about that as we actually
Because
go
we're
on,
in
but
it
yeah,
together,
let's take a
Max.
selfie.
You feel
See
like
if the
totally
same
haunted
things
by the
happen.
eyes of those sad mothers and children.
He should interrupt
took
us,
my
he's gonna
selfie,
ask us
Jefferson
what the
asked me a
process is, we're
question.
gonna say the Garian process, we're
he
gonna
does
look
again,
really cool
I'll
in
know
front
this
of our
is
peers.
Kids call a
And everybody
selfie.
is gonna clap and
A
stand
dumb
up and
word
give us
for
a standing
wonderful
ovation.
photographic
Is that what
tradition.
happens in high school?
Max
Smythe.
has a gift.
Thanks.
I know I'm not dreaming this.
You all know, the
It's
photo
real.
portrait has been popular
I can
since
tell.
Some dreams tend to feel very real.
Your generation
So I
Admittedly.
can go back in time.
images for selfie expression.
What if that girl isn't dead yet?
Couldn't resist. The point
Can I
remains
save
that
her?
the
Yes.
portraiture has always been a vital aspect of
That's
art
good
and
thinking. I was just
photography
thinking
first.
of how we're gonna answer
Check it out.
correct this time and not
Now,
look
Max,
stupid, but maybe saving her
since
life
you've
is gonna be
captured our
a much
interest
better
and
idea in the
joint
long run.
conversation, can you please tell us the name of the process that gave birth to the first self-portraits?
Absolutely. The Degarian... Oh. Damn it. I have to use the bathroom or I feel sick. I mean, that's basically the same thing. But if we say we feel sick, he's not going to believe us. So let's just say we have to use the bathroom.
I'm sorry, but I really have to use the bathroom.
Nice try, Max. But you're not going to get away that easy.
Why don't
We can
teachers
talk more
let
after
people
class.
out of their class to go to
there
the
anybody
bathroom?
here-
If somebody is actually feeling sick, I want them to go to the bathroom before they puke all over the ground and make this a biohazard. Just being in the room. This doesn't feel safe to me. Just let your kids just let kids go to the bathroom.
What if I rewind?
We can rewind and actually answer again. The game is teaching us this is basically a glamorized tutorial in some sense, so that's why I'm talking over it. I'll try to stay quiet for the important moments. Alright. Right trigger. There we go. Fast rewind.
Now, Max,
We can skip. We've heard this. The Garian process. So sometimes you can learn something, you can rewind and then actually use the newly found information to answer the question that was asked to you before or just do something different.
The Daguerrean process, invented by a French painter named Louis
Perfect.
Daguerre.
If I had this
around
skill
1830.
in my high school,
somebody has been
I would
reading
have gone
as
through
well
it,
as
but I would
posing.
have learned much
Nice work,
less,
Max.
admittedly, so I'm glad I don't have it in some
The
sense.
Daguerrean
But right
process
now,
made
I think it would be
portraiture
useful.
hugely popular.
I could influence
Mainly
people
because
in a
it gave
positive
such
way.
clear defined features.
That would be pretty cool.
You can
I
learn
could
more when
influence
you
myself
actually
in a
finish
positive way.
reading the
I guess
assigned
that
chapter.
first statement still makes sense
Max
because
is
I'm
so far
also
away
part of people.
ahead of
I'm
that.
also human.
And guys, don't forget the deadline to submit a photo in the Everyday Heroes contest. I'll fly out with the winner to San Francisco, where you'll be feted by the art world. It's great exposure, and it can kickstart a career in photography. So Stella and Alyssa, get it together. Taylor,
Max, I
don't
pretend
hide.
you not to see
I'm
me.
still waiting for your entry.
I'm
too.
seeing
And
you
yes,
pretending
Max,
not to see me.
I
There
see
we
you
go.
pretending not to see me.
Yes, I've
Max,
played this game too many
you are
times.
crazy. You are not dreaming. It's time to be an everyday hero.
So there's the girl who is about to die, but admittedly I think we still have enough time to talk to Kate, and she's obviously struggling, so let's talk to her.
Nice answer, Max. Are you okay? You look pale.
I look
Kate,
pale.
did
I'm
we
sorry,
talk at all
but
today?
it's very
This
rich
is the
coming
first
from you.
time. What's wrong?
I'm sorry, I'm just tripping. Too much stress.
There's a girl about to
I
die
know
in the
the feeling.
bathroom. Don't worry about it.
And I want to represent Blackwell Academy.
What did you say? I blanked out for a second. I have to go is not the right answer. I wish we didn't.
I wish we didn't. I do have to go, but we can talk later if you want.
I'll see how I feel.
I'll see how I
Max.
feel. That's actually a very mature answer. Sorry, Mr. Jefferson, I don't want to talk to you.
Moment in the camera.
Let's
I
go.
see you, Max Caulfield. Don't even
He's
think
good.
about
He's
leaving
good
here until
now.
we talk about your entry.
It's the glasses. I bet it's the glasses. He just nothing goes by him.
I'd never let one of photography's future.
Yes. I'm not avoiding. Not sure if I have one. I'm not sure if I have a picture.
Yeah, I'm not sure I have one.
How I don't know
Getting
how
your
you're
selfie
not sure if you
output on.
have one.
Sure, you must have.
You
about
either have it or you
1,000
don't,
pics
and
by now.
it's probably
It'll
pretty
take a long
good.
time to
I mean,
find
you
it,
know
but-
if you have it or not, so
Max,
it's not like you can be sure of.
Don't wait too long.
I'm not sure. You get what
John
I'm
Lennon
saying.
once said that life is what happens while you're busy making other plans.
This is true. But John Lennon is not a person I
understand.
would really trust on life advice. Not to say that I don't think he made smart life choices in his life. I'm just saying that I think there are people who made more life choices, better life choices than
My
him.
moment in the camera eye and
Great. Let's speak to him.
excuse
We
me.
can use the John
Mr.
Lennon quote
Jefferson,
to
can I
bamboozle
talk
him.
to you for a moment?
Yes. Excuse you.
no, Victoria. Excuse us.
I'll never
let
get
one of
tired of that.
photography's
John Lennon said. There you go. Let's see what happens.
I'm on top of it. I think John Lennon once said that life is what happens.
That's
while
so
you're busy
cheesy.
making
It's
other
exactly
plans.
what I would do to throw
Max,
people off.
You're on fire today. All the right answers. Good. Make sure you finish working. on
Wouldn't
it
you
by
be a
today.
little bit perplexed? If that happened to
faith
me,
in
if I had a quote I wanted to share with the world, and somebody just said it in front of me, I would be a little surprised. I wouldn't think, obviously, they have magical powers of
hope I
turning
have
back
enough time to
time
get
or
to the
seeing into the
bathroom.
future.
Please, please.
But I would definitely think that... Oh, right. Wrong button. But I would definitely think that something's off. I would like... I'm gonna keep an eye on this girl. She might turn into a serial killer of some sort. Or something nicer, I suppose. It would strike me as wrong. My sixth
Max,
sense, I think, would be
retrace every
thinking.
step.
My spidey sense. I don't know what I'm saying at this point. So
I
let's
washed
just
my
stop.
face.
Let's retrace my
I
steps.
shredded
Good
my
idea.
photo. Then the butterfly photo.
Everything is falling into
And I took a
place.
photo.
Leave them out of this bitch.
I can tell everybody Nathan Prescott is a punk ass who begs like a little girl and talks to himself.
You don't know who the fuck I am or who you're messing around with.
Where'd you get that? What are you doing?
Don't
Come on, put that thing
ever
down.
Use the
tell me
fireball.
what to do.
I need a hammer to
I
break
need
it
a...
open.
Oh, where are we gonna get the
Trying to
hammer?
Control me.
You are going to get in hella more trouble for this.
Don't shoot her,
than
don't shoot her.
drugs.
Wait a second. I'm not letting her get shot.
You are going to get in hella more
Oh,
trouble
we have to
for
move
this
it again.
than
It's
drugs.
fine, it's fine.
Nobody would ever even miss your punk ass.
Let's
would
skip
they?
it. Let's take the hammer. I'm not sure. Yikes.
Holy shit, I can't let this happen.
Again, this is a tutorial because it teaches you when you pick up something, it remains in your inventory even after you rewind time. But still, I didn't want to see her getting shot again. Give me an option here.
No
You could have
way.
definitely just used a hand wrapped up in a scarf or like cloth or your shirt to break that. Because it's not like it's somebody's life on the line. You can cut your hand, Max. I said I wouldn't make fun of her, but I'm making fun of her.
That did not
Because you could
happen.
break that. She's
cannot
in
be
mortal
real.
danger.
I
But
just
luckily
saw a
she
girl
didn't die,
get
so
shot
things
and
worked
then
out fine.
saved her. What the fuck is going on?
My thoughts exactly. What the fuck is going on?
Freak out.
How would you not freak out? Honestly, Max, explain how you would not freak out.
Do you hear that fire alarm? That means you should be outside.
I had
Yes,
to use
that's
the
where I'm going.
Girls always use that excuse.
Yes, because
Use for what?
For whatever
girls
you're
have to
up
pee as well
your
and
face is
poop and
covered
have
in
other
you.
bodily
The alarm tripped
functions.
me out.
Then trip on out of here, missy. Or are you hiding something? Huh?
Thank you, Mr. Madsen. The situation is under control. There's no emergency here. Leave Miss
The
Caulfield
situation is
alone,
under
and
control.
please
This
turn off
entire
that
premise
alarm
is on
system.
fire, but don't worry about it. People panic way too much when a fire alarm goes off. It just trips everyone up and everybody just starts running. And that's exactly the opposite of what you should do in any situation. You should just never panic. If there's no obvious fire around you and you hear a fire alarm, just leave the building slowly. I'm not saying, not as slowly that it catches up to you or anything, but just don't bump into other people, don't push them out of the way, etc. Right? That should be pretty obvious, but apparently it's not to many people. Let's talk to him.
You look a little stressed out. Are you okay?
I'm just a little worried about my future.
You're sweating pinballs. Is that all you're thinking
Pinballs.
about? You could always
Sweating balls,
Max.
not okay,
Or
and he
have
said
you done
pinballs.
something wrong?
I appreciate the
that
PG-13
it?
comment.
Well, Max, talk to me.
How was he so good? We can report that Nathan, he did have a gun on the school premises, or we can hide the truth. Now, personally, I never saw the reason to hide the truth, so this to me is not even a moral dilemma. The guy had a gun, he would have killed her, he showed potential, we need to tell someone about it.
I just saw Nathan Prescott waving a gun around in the girls' room.
Nathan Prescott. You sure?
Yes, I'm sure. That's a
He
face
was
you
in the
don't
bathroom
forget.
talking to himself with a gun. I saw everything. He was babbling like crazy.
Okay, slow down. Slow down. So now you saw this without him seeing you.
I'm
was
very
hiding behind
good
a stall.
hiding.
I have the right to be there. It's the girls' room.
I know. I just want to be completely clear what happened.
Guy had a gun. So
Prescott
check this
happens to
out,
be from the
principal.
town's
The
most
guy had a
distinguished
gun.
family.
He shot her.
And
I
one of
rewound
Blackwell's
time. I went
most
back to the
prominent
bedroom. I
students.
tripped the fire alarm so he
it's hard
wouldn't
for me to
kill
see
her.
him brandish
And then
a
I
weapon in
basically
the
came
girls'
here to
bathroom.
report it. Max, are
So
you
what
making
happened
this
next?
up? No.
Then,
That's exactly what happened.
then he left. I ran out here wondering what to do. Are you gonna bust him?
Do you
This
have
is
proof?
Serious charge.
If only I had a camera in that point in
I'll
time
look
so I
into
could
the
actually
matter.
snap a picture.
Thank you
Or
for
if I
bringing it to my
only could rewind time to go back
That's
there
it?
to snap a picture of
After
him
what I
waving a
told
gun
We'll
around.
continue this discussion later
Oh,
in
I
my
suppose there's
office.
nothing we can
Please
do.
go outside with the rest of your class.
We have to go outside. The only options we have is reporting it back or not.
Won't do anything since the Prescott family owns Blackwell now. Should I rewind and change my story?
So basically, every time after you make a choice like this, you get some of that internal dialogue from Max, which disagrees with the choice you've made. And I think that's such a clever decision because it forces you to really think whatever what you're doing is morally right. And whatever you've made the right choice. So sometimes you might make a choice that might not be morally right, but it might be right for the outcomes of the game. And you basically always have the choice to roll back and choose another one, but you won't see the consequences of that choice well into the game. For example,
You better
maybe
go on outside.
later on in the episode, or maybe even in the next episode. Shut up, I'm talking to the people of the internet. Okay, Principal Wells? I know you're very important here, and you have that typical stature, and you have the power to expel me, but I think YouTube views are more important, alright? Even though we don't have many of those around here. But that doesn't really matter, alright, Principal Wells? I was talking about choices. So another thing that comes to mind is that people say, well, obviously you could just rewind time, take a picture of him, and you would have photographic evidence that he actually shot someone. And that's obviously a very great point, but the thing is that powers in this game, or at least rewind powers,
Max,
aren't...
you should be outside, not in here.
Yeah, fine. The powers in this game are not used to really make a coherent story, if that makes. They're used as a plot device. It's about what the powers represent and not so much about what the powers can actually do. And that's the reason why they're never really expanded or explored upon. They're just there to serve as a narrative device. And in this case, they're trying to tell us, the game is trying to tell us, or at least it's a major theme in the game, that when you make decisions, you won't be able to see what the consequences of those decisions are. And it's not maybe about the consequences, but what about you think is right in the current moment. It's more about the journey than the ending, I suppose. Now, this was an introductory episode. I did a lot of rambling.
Outside now.
He did a lot of rambling as well, so there's no denying that. But I think this is going to be a good spot to end it. I'll try to end the episodes in general on spots where I feel like is a natural cutting point or a breaking point, and this very much feels like it to me, of course, because I played the game before. I know when it's gonna be a good idea to break them. So expect them to be about 30 to 40 minutes long, just to get a little bit of a taste, and then we can continue later. The next endings won't be as drawn out as this one is, but I did want to say just how special this game is to me, and I just really want to indulge my entire body and mind into it as I actually go through it. So with all of that said, I hope you enjoyed this one, guys, and I hope to see you next time.